The technical definition of energy is the ability to do work. Nothing happens without energy being transformed from one form to another. If you think of everything that actually moves, including your body, it requires energy.
The traditional types of energy that we are currently using, coal, oil, natural gas, petroleum, take an enormous toll, not only on the natural environment, but on people too. Detroiters lose approximately 65,000 days of work each year due to pollution-related illnesses. And the prevalence of asthma among adults in Detroit is 29% higher than that of Michiganders as a whole.
It is so important, especially if we're going to fight climate change and reduce the energy burden on families, businesses, and nonprofits. Energy efficiency is absolutely necessary. In Michigan, the technical term that they use is energy waste reduction. If you say waste, no matter what we're talking about, everyone knows that waste is bad. So energy efficiency is really reducing the amount of energy wasted, which is a huge amount. And unfortunately, we pay for the energy that we use wisely, and we pay for the energy that we waste. So energy waste reduction or energy efficiency allows you just to pay for the energy that you're using and not for all the waste that's naturally generated in our homes, in our commercial buildings, and within the system.
Households with low income spend up to 20% of their earnings on energy costs, greatly impacting their ability to cover basic needs like food, shelter, and medical expenses. In fact, Detroiters pay 2 times more of their household income on energy than other Michigan residents.
So many low income, but also moderately income individuals are impacted by high energy costs. How do we effectively address climate change to ensure that the most vulnerable communities are receiving less of the burden?
For many families and many businesses, when they get that bill every month, it's not just a bill. It really is a burden. And there are families who can't figure it out and who have to sacrifice in other ways.
These same households disproportionately bear the burden of environmental and climate shifts that create not only unreliability in energy access, but also price spikes.
I can't express how important it is that we use less energy by really leaning in and educating people about energy efficiency and giving them access to making their homes and buildings more efficient.
I was talking to the Wayne County treasurer, and I kind of challenged him and said, I wonder how many people have lost their homes because they have not been able to afford to pay their utility bill. It was a very interesting conversation, and I think it's one that requires multiple stakeholders to get involved in addressing.
When we talk about non-renewable energy, we really are basically talking about traditional energy, fossil fuels, coal, the energy that this country and civilization basically was built on. Renewable energy consists of energy that's generated and, as far as we know, is eternal. So when we're talking about things that are always there, hopefully the sun is always going to be here. The sun is going to shine every single day to some degree. The wind is going to blow somewhere. And those are resources that don't have to be replenished. Those are resources that are going to be here no matter what. And they're also resources that are not generated by burning or combustion, meaning they are not generating the harm, the air quality, the environmental hazards that combustible fuels do.
Some communities are already making the change to sustainable energy. If you aren't familiar with it, the Cass Community Social Services Tiny Homes neighborhood serves to fight poverty, create opportunities, and build community through the development of eco-friendly and affordable tiny homes. All residents of the neighborhood qualify as low-income workers and come from a variety of backgrounds and experiences. Residents agree to pay $350 a month for 7 years, at the end of which they will own the home. In partnership with Strawberry Solar, CCSS established custom solar panel arrays to serve all of the homes in the neighborhood, lowering residents' monthly energy bills and contributing to a greener Detroit. Due to the small roof sizes and differing roof orientations, the traditional rooftop array did not make sense for these homes. Instead, Strawberry Solar designed custom pole-mounted arrays and positioned them in each yard facing south, the best direction for solar panels to face in order to optimize sun exposure. The addition of solar to these properties makes the average value for one of these tiny homes $40,000 to $50,000, a 36 to 69% increase over what they will have paid. Moreover, the reduction in utility bills resulting from solar ranges from 20 to 50% savings, or around $1,000 per year.
To get solar installed into your home, first we need to look at the house from the satellite view to get an idea what the roof structure is so that we can see where we can fit solar panels on the house. And then we look at the homeowner's electric bill, their electric use history, because we want to install enough solar to run the house, but not too much, obviously. And their electric bills will really help guide that process. So we're able to use those two things to develop some initial quotes and design concepts for the home.
We bought our house in 2013, and one of the priorities we had, even before we moved in, was making sure that we did everything possible to perform a sustainable renovation and have as low of an environmental impact as we could, and make sure that we were using renewables.
We purchased this property about 20 years ago, and we decided to have this as a community space, so we made it out of basically a power station where you can charge up your phones in case the power goes out in the neighborhood. You can fix your bike, and we also have solar panels where you can get free Wi-Fi.
How do you take a historic wreck of a building and create a renewable energy project out of it? We decided, let's just do the right thing. The building was all set to go for renovation, and it was, wait a second, engineer this over again. We're going to put in geothermal and solar. Let's see what that looks like.
There are a lot of organizations, companies that support, kind of this turnkey design and permitting of solar projects. So we were able to work with a solar designer and permitting agency from start to finish.
We handle all the nuts and bolts of the process. We will handle all the paperwork with both the city and with DTE. There's quite a bit of permitting and kind of red tape stuff that we need to go through to get the project installed. We handle all that paperwork and coordination. So we know what the rules are with both the city and with DTE, so the homeowner doesn't have to do anything.
We've installed 2 solar power charging stations about 2 years ago to give access to the community at the park for internet and also to charge their equipment. So whether it's cell phones, computers and things of that sort, we installed that to give them a resource.
Built in 1921, the building at 4444 2nd Avenue was originally built as an automotive showroom. In 2007, it was bought by Tom and Peggy Brennan, who worked to transform it into the sustainable co-working space it is today. Some of the most notable sustainable design features of the Green Garage include Michigan native plant gardens, on-site composting, building material reuse, and of course, solar panels.
Bennett Park is a staple of the community, so we have like hundreds of people throughout the week that comes up here to either have events or just to bring the children up here. This park is important to me because I stayed on Brush, probably 4 blocks down from this park. Grew up here, my children come here, and I still have family members and friends that come up to the park. So it's real close to my heart as far as what we do in the community.
Green Garage is home to not only 50 solar PV panels, which generate electricity, but also to 10 solar thermal panels, which use solar power to heat the building. These features allow Green Garage to operate using just 10% of the energy used by traditional office buildings. And what's really cool is that Green Garage makes their usage information available to the public. If you're a huge solar fan, you might be interested in checking out their usage charts at the link on the screen.
Our solar system is a 20 kilowatt system. Every day that the sun shines, we're shaving about half of our electric bill off.
We had 18 total solar panels, and then since 2014 added 2, and so now we're at 20. The whole system is about 5.2 kilowatts, and each panel is around 260 watts.
We have 21 solar panels that power our house. We save quite a bit a month. Before we had it, our bills were pretty high. We insulated the house, and then we had the solar panels installed, and we noticed a big difference in our electric bill.
The solar panels actually provide a little over 50% of all of our electricity when we look at our bill. It's not exclusively solar powered. In the summer months when we get a lot of sun, our house is more solar powered than in the winter when it may be grayer and we have a little less efficiency in our power generation.
This is a 27,000 square foot building, and it's apartments as well as commercial uses. So you have 20 refrigerators and dishwashers, and we have utility or laundry on each floor. We have the tea shop with all sorts of things humming along down there. What we pay for all the lights, all the electricity on a monthly basis, it ranges from $600 to $800 a month for a 27,000 square foot building.
As a frontline organization committed to creating sustainable communities, NEWCC's Solar Neighbors is spearheading an effort to transition homes in 3 neighborhoods to renewable energy. Our work will create pathways to resiliency through improved climate preparedness, increased energy security, renewed infrastructure, and heightened economic prosperity. We have a bold goal to equip 1,000 households of low-income families with rooftop solar solutions by 2024.
I don't see how you can be on the fence about renewable energy. The time has passed for us debating on whether we should have renewable energy. We're so past that moment.
It's not about the cheapest bottom line if it's something that's going to have an impact for the next century or more. And I think that the care for the earth, if anybody has any care for the city or care for the future of our children or care for anything, then it goes hand in hand.
We should actually have a plan for community solar. We should have a plan for microgrids, anything that would reduce the amount of just reduce the usage and the weight that we're putting on our aging infrastructure.
People are ready in the city, and the prices are right, financing is there, all the pieces are coming together now to make solar a reality for Detroiters. I've been doing solar for 12 years, and we've had several times we've had opportunities to come into the city of Detroit and install solar. And in the past, that's generally not worked out because of budget concerns or permitting issues with the city, or just the view that solar just wasn't for them. And really, we've seen in the last year or two that view has really changed. And especially with our partnership with New CC, we've really had opportunity to actually get solar on people's houses, where it's not just a friendly discussion in the front yard. We're actually bolting panels down on roofs.
If your roof is intact, solar is a great idea. If you have space on your lot or near your house, you may not want to put it on the roof and just put it on the ground level. But in the long run, it's a matter of pay me now, pay me later. We can continue to pay these utility bills, which have not went down. Every year I've been in this house, they've always went up.
This can be as modular as you need it to be, and I think the important thing is starting where you can, and then building from there and not being in a rush to do it.
Where does this stop? It's kind of like stop the bleeding. When is it going to stop? As we can see, inflation has risen up, utility bills has risen up, everybody's raising their prices, so at some point in time we got to figure out how do we get out of this mouse maze, whatever you want to call it.
Any place one starts is a good place to start. It starts really with what is within your means and within your capabilities, and that ultimately every little bit is going to make a difference.
Other countries have done this. It can be done. In Africa, they have solar. In India, they have solar. In other parts of the world, they have solar. So it can be done.
There are a lot of resources available, and so this doesn't have to be an insurmountable project. And again, this is a growing industry, and over time, my hope, my vision, and also what the market and what society is showing is that this will become more and more normalized, much like electric vehicles. I think it's something that there's no need to fear it or think it might not work. Considering and understanding that this is just like getting electricity from a power plant somewhere far away, solar is a very safe and easy way to have electricity within your home.
We know that solar works. We know that geothermal works. We know that the hard surfaces work. We know that the energy efficiency works. And so all those arguments of first-time cost, we know you pay for the next 20, 30 years. And if you care about these things, then you realize that, yes, there is a cost, but those costs only go up for operating a building as time goes on. So not only does the cost go up, but the burden on our environment goes up.
I'd like to encourage everyone to think about what their place in renewable energy is, because even as we speak, our world is changing. We are going to be powered by renewable energy, and the transformation of not just energy, but the transformation of wealth that is going to be generated, the independence that is going to be generated, the job opportunities and business opportunities that are going to be spawned by the transformation that we're in right now is so important to our community. I just hope everyone will say, I'm going to lean into this, and we are going to make a difference in our own communities.
Solar Neighbors brings friends and neighbors together to take advantage of significant savings on solar for their homes. Residents of North End Woodward, Hamtramck, Highland Park, and surrounding communities have the opportunity to learn about solar, get their questions answered by a trusted and vetted installer, and gain access to solar incentive programs. To learn more about how you can join NEWCC and be a part of making the Motor City a solar city, visit www.facebook.com/solarneighbors or email mary@wnuc.org.